is British education so popular among international students?
Okay. I think it's really two things. It's the quality of education that the UK offers, as well as the outcomes that it provides students. So let me explain. All schools in the UK, they are strictly monitored in that sense, in the sense where the teaching that we provide, how many hours, what's taught in school, as well as what we do to look after the kids, that's all monitored by the government. So what that means is that wherever you study in the UK, you can be ensured of a very good quality of education. That's one. The other thing is the outcomes that UK education provides. It's recognized worldwide, so what that means is when kids finish, whether it be school or university, their qualification is recognized worldwide, and then that actually opens up a lot more doors. I think those are very good two reasons for why international students come to the UK.
What makes CCSS different to other boarding schools and colleges in UK?
All right, very good question. I think the difference, I suppose, is very much owing to the fact that CCSS is a very small school. Our class sizes are very small in that there are about 6 students to the class. So what that means is that our teachers can spend a lot of time on each and every student. Right? Because I think for parents what's important is how well their child does. Not really, however many students went to Oxford or Cambridge before, but really how well their own child performs. So CCSS is really good in a way that our teachers have enough time or sufficient time to spend on each and every child to find out how good they are, what their potential is, where they're having difficulties and so on, and use that to then work with the students to get to really meet their potential. I think that's a real difference with what we do at CCSS. The other point I could make is that CCSS is in a city called Cambridge. Cambridge is known worldwide, and it's really an academic city like no other. And it's a very small city, it's a very safe city, which too I think is important to parents. And I think those two makes CCSS a very special place.
As a head of admissions, what qualities do you look out for in prospective students?
Right. Well, with young students coming to us, we'd love for them to really like learning. Perhaps that's a bit too optimistic, but they're very young kids. But if they have somewhat a hunger to learn new things and actually enjoy their education, I think that's something that we'd love for our kids to have. Even if it is something, even if they have that a little bit, our teachers can then work with them and develop this hunger. Because I think that's really important, because many of our students want to go to very good universities, and good universities these days, Cambridge, Oxford, LSE and so on, they're not just looking at academic ability, but they also look at that hunger for learning in kids. So we develop that. So to get that going, it's important that when they come to us, they have a little bit of a love for that learning.
What is the Leonardo Scholars Program and what makes it unique?
All right. Well, we're really excited about the Leonardo Scholars Program. What makes it unique is that we have put together about 30 to 40 different learning experiences, and these will happen outside of the classroom. So like all other students, they will go to school in the morning and afternoon, but then they will have these 30 to 40 different activities that they will do after hours or on the weekends. And as you know, Leonardo da Vinci, he learned from his environment, and he became the engineer, the artist, the painter, the inventor he was because of that. So we want our kids to become little Leonardos, if you like, not really bright academically, just bright academically, but knowledgeable young adults. Because, and this leads to why it's really special. The second point, I think, why it's special, we want all of these students in the Leonardo program to go to either University of Cambridge or to Oxford University. And as you probably know, with those universities, they are really looking for not just academically bright students, but very worldly, rounded, very knowledgeable young adults. So we're preparing them for that, and I think that makes it, that makes the Leonardo program very special.
Peter, can you give an advice to students and their parents in choosing a boarding school in United Kingdom?
That's a very good question. In choosing a boarding school, I think the advice that I can give parents is really to look at where their child is in terms of academic ability and how they're progressing at their current school, and then pick a school in the UK they feel is a right fit for that child. And what I mean is, I think rather than pick a school for their ranking and what they've done for other students, I think it's important they pick the right school that will nurture that child and develop their own skills and make sure that they meet their potential. I think that's very important. The second point I'd like to make is, when parents, when choosing a school, if once they narrow down, say, 4 to 5 schools in the UK, it will be, if this is possible, if they can visit those 4 to 5 schools, I think that will actually give them a really good sense of insight into not just what the teachers will provide for them, but also how much of a caring environment that school will be for that child. Because I think it's important to parents, not just that their kids are doing well academically, but also being looked after very well. I think you will only get that if you can visit the schools before you commit to sending your child to that school.
What is the International Foundation Program? What makes it unique?
All right. The International Foundation Program is really an alternative to A-levels. So for students who, for whatever reason, perhaps they're in a rush to get to university, then the international program is ideal for them, because for 2 reasons. One is that the international program is just 1 year, so as you know, A-level is usually 2 years. And the second reason, I think, will be very much welcomed by the kids themselves. The International Foundation program is much less challenging than an A-level program. So those those two characteristics make it very much ideal for those students who are looking for a university place and they want to get there really quickly. And I think that makes the International Foundation program very unique.